Hey, welcome to the Play Callers podcast. I'm Tracy Lynn. Coach Kirk Broussard was unable to join us this evening. Coach Chris Williams should probably be here momentarily, hopefully. And the best of the best, I have Carlos Page. He is the man from the Sportaholic podcast based out of Nashville. Thanks for joining me.
Tracy, always a pleasure. Appreciate you having me.
And we also have Bobby Blackjack. Yeah, he's a voice tonight. So if you hear
Just a voice tonight.
Yeah, if you hear a random voice, he is in the background. So thank you very much. If you're watching, joining the Play Callers podcast this evening, thank you very much. If you have any questions or if you want to put your 2 cents in on something that we're talking about, by all means, let's do it. Let's get things started. Saturday, unbelievable. The internet goes wild. It basically, this one man, if he was going to do it, he would do it. He breaks the internet. It goes down. Tom
Yeah.
Brady. Somebody hit, actually, it was never confirmed that he was retiring, but it was assumed he was retiring. So myself included, we're reposting things, saying congratulations on your retirement. Oh my God, I can't believe he's retiring. And then 2 hours later, Tom Brady Sr. comes out with a statement and says, "No, it's not confirmed." He did speak with the GM of the Bucks. He does not know what he's doing, if he's retiring or returning. So,
hmm
what are your thoughts, Carlos, on Tom Brady?
Hey, wouldn't it be the most Tom Brady thing that just because out of spite, because he didn't get to break his own news first, that he comes back and wins another Super Bowl? It's just that's just the level of petty that we know that Brady is capable of, man. And it sounds like some NBA drama. You usually don't get this type of drama in the NFL. It's kind of juicy. I like it. Let's keep this thing going. Hey, the longer that we don't have an uncertainty about Tom Brady not coming back next year, the more fun it gets for me.
Yes, I was just visualizing Tom Brady and Gronk sitting on the couch laughing their asses off at everybody because there is speculation that Gronk could retire as well, right? So I'm thinking I could just see the two of them sitting there laughing and going, "Look what we just did! Look at all the controversy we just stirred up." Welcome, Coach Chris Williams. How are you?
I'm good. How y'all doing? What's going on, Los?
Hey, I can't call it, Coach. How you doing, man?
Good, good.
So we're talking about Tom Brady. We were in our
hmm
chat together. We were like, "Oh my gosh!" And you were very upset over this. And then 2 hours later, I'm sending you a message saying, "Okay, wait, this is not confirmed. What are your thoughts on everything? How it just blew up on Saturday?"
It did just blow up on Saturday. I just hope it's not true. I still hadn't been able to get any confirmation one way or the other. I think a lot of people have already written it off and saying that this is what's going to happen. But until I hear from him, it's going to be a tough life. For me, it's going to be a tough life without the goat on the field, man. So I think being able to cope with that, even if it is true, at least got some time to wrap my head around it right now.
Now, some are saying that he's going to wait until after Friday because I guess there's a lump sum of money that's involved. And if he
hmm
retires before then, he's not going to have access to that 15 million, I believe. Um, but do we really think that it's going to happen? I know, Carlos, you just said, wouldn't it be great if he just comes back for the year, wins another Super Bowl? I think that he's going to be done. I mean, there's tons of memes out there right now. And I love my memes because they get me through my day and make me laugh. And there's the one where Giselle's on the phone speaking to the GM saying, pretending to be Brady, saying, "Oh,
hmm
I'm retiring. Don't make a big deal about it. Don't call me. I'm not going to talk to you." Um, do we think, I mean, I think this is it. I think this is it. This is his moment.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I think he's done as well because when you get to that point as an exceptional elite athlete like that, and you start to hear those whispers, yeah, and he's done everything.
Right.
They made the point that he wants to stay until he always said 45, and of course that would have been just one more year. But we don't know what that team was going to look like next year. They had a lot of free agents maybe that would have went away. Probably would have tried to load up for another run at it, but. I mean, it gets to that point, you never know when they're great. And you wanted to see Tom at least be able to go off and get that farewell season where we can really appreciate, this guy, I love him, I hate him. You can see him with some send offs at different cities and things like that. But if he's done, I respect the decision. But I do hate to see a guy in his prime still seem like, it's crazy to say it. I don't even know if I should say prime, but still got it, and he still can
Mhm.
produce on the field. You hate to see a guy walk off that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. But, he does deserve to live a life as well, right? And, he even said he's having to balance this career and have your family on the other side. That's got to be hard. You got some young kids. So that's a story that we're definitely going to be following. And like Coach Chris said, until we hear it from his mouth, we aren't going to believe it. So we'll wait till Friday. We'll wait till Saturday.
Yeah.
Um, so yesterday, this is why we're here. Unbelievable. Oh my God. The games that were played were some of the best games that we have seen in forever. Now, let's start with the Bengals and the Chiefs. Can you believe it still that Mahomes is out? Like, done. That's it. He's not going to the Super Bowl. Carlos, what did you think of the Bengals and Chiefs? We got Burrow, we got Mahomes. Unbelievable.
I just can't understand and wrap my head around it either, because you're talking about that Kansas City Chiefs team that I think most of us had already penciled in. We thought that the Bengals were too young, it wasn't ready for the moment. And turns out they had more heart and grit than the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, those guys went in 21 down, came out, came back, made all the big plays at the end, and it's just something that people always expect. Any great team to go on that run. We thought this would be a dynasty type run, which you can't say that they haven't had a good run, but it's just they leaving so much on the table for Kansas City. It just seems like Joe Burrow shouldn't have been able to come in there with the Bengals and take him out of Arrowhead.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when I was speaking, we did an interview with Roman Gabriel III. We talked about this. We were talking about the Bengals taking this
Yeah.
game, and I know Chris, you were involved in the one conversation with him,
Mhm.
and I agreed with him, but I know you were kind of still on the fence too. But Patrick Mahomes, did you watch the game? I'm assuming. What did you feel was going on with him? I mean, he dominated. We've like most games we've seen, you see a huge difference in the score, and then all of a sudden, tables turn. What were your thoughts on that game?
Man, I mean, when I was watching the game, I mean, at the second half, I was just thinking about how how undisciplined Patrick Mahomes was in the way he was playing, and I just think I think sometimes when you're coaching a kid like that, I mean when good things are happening and he's being the Michael Jordan of basketball, football, and he's no look passing and doing all this other stuff, and but it was hurting to watch him, run around in circles back there in the pocket in the second half. I mean, a lot of that is just the fact that they've allowed that stuff to go on with him. I mean, they haven't really just boxed him in and coached him up to the point where some of that stuff is coached out of him. And I just think, you kind of, you live by the sword, you die by the sword kind of thing with that.
Mm.
But I think it's 100% a coaching issue, with the inconsistency in his play. And, I think that's something that they're going to have to address at some point.
Yeah, it definitely was an emotional moment when you knew that that was it for them. Because going in there, 90% of people were focused on a Chiefs win. Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. I could be less, I could be more on that percentage, but I'm just saying the majority of people did not see this coming. A lot of people said, I would like to see the Bengals win. I don't think that they will, but it would be nice. And then, of course, you got the Bengals fans all like, what? Yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable. Now let's talk about the next game, the 49ers and the Rams. At the beginning of that, because I know we majority were Rams for picking that game. Watching the 49ers, they were kind of owning them for a little bit at the beginning. Coach Chris Williams, we'll start with you for this one. 49ers and Rams. We got Jimmy G, we got Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Unbelievable game.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stories tied up into what we were watching this weekend. I mean, you couldn't help but be, at least I couldn't help but be, one, I was happy for Matthew Stafford going
Mhm.
all through all the stuff he went through in Detroit, proving that he really does have the ability to take a team to to a Super Bowl if the team does all the things that they're supposed to do. So I was happy for Matt Stafford, and then I was excited also for for the Rams organization because they took a chance. I mean, if you go out and you get Matt Stafford and you let a guy go that took you to the Super Bowl, and then he doesn't take you, to a Super Bowl. I mean, those guys will have egg on their faces. So I was pretty excited for the Rams organization that they were able to get that done, and I kind of think in my mind they would be the favorite going into this game. I think the 49ers side of the ball. I mean, it shows that they may be looking at a new era at quarterback. I mean, Jimmy G, he's kind of is what Jimmy G is. I mean, I think he's just a guy that can manage a game and get you only so far. But like I said, I came out of that really being excited about the Rams and even to be honest with you, I mean, a little piece of me also was excited for Odell Beckham Jr. Man, I mean, he played a really good football game, and people always said he's a distraction, and this guy, don't put this guy on the team for this reason or the other one, and he has just blended right in and shows that he can be a team player as long as the culture is right. So I was proud for the Rams.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how things have panned out for Odell Beckham Jr., especially when he should be on the field celebrating. He took a minute and he went to comfort 49ers Debo Samuel. Like, for him to do that just showed a whole different personality for Junior there. And I don't know, you couldn't help but connect because you felt both sides of it. It doesn't matter if you were, Team Rams or you were going for the 49ers. That moment, that emotion, that one play, you couldn't help but shed a tear or two if you had any feeling in you. You felt that. Carlos, let's head this over to you. 49ers and Rams game.
Great game, great, pleasing game to watch. It wasn't a high scoring affair, but two teams that really got after each other that didn't like each other. And we know for a fact that the Rams, in order to kind of overcome those demons that they've been plagued with by the 49ers, had to finally get physical with those guys. So they came out and got a little bit more physical with them. To your point, Coach, I think we've seen the last of Jimmy G in that 49er uniform. I mean, you can't make that throw at the end of that game. You can't just flick it. You just can't do that, for a guy that's been in the league this long, and it just shows you the physical limitations that they have with them. As good as that offense is, as good as Kyle Shanahan is, they need another guy that's able to do the same thing that the Rams went out and did and got through Matt Stafford. So the blueprint is there. But it was a great season, kind of unexpected run by the 49ers. Can't really ask for much more this season. I guess you could ask for a Super Bowl appearance, but they almost got it done. But this does feel right. It feels like the Rams are supposed to be in there. They took out Tom Brady. You take out this competitive, very good upstart 49ers team, and it's got the Hollywood script. You got Matt Stafford, like you said, OBJ. You guys, we didn't talk about Von Miller getting traded. The chips were all in. They had to make it seem this year that, at least next year, one of these times, that they had to make a Super Bowl. I mean, they had to at least get there with everything that they put on the table. What they don't have a first round pick until like 2028 or something crazy. So the
Jeez.
time is now. It's good to see that those guys actually made it. As it faces in the Super Bowl, I don't know, man. I've counted out the Bengals every week that they've been in the playoffs. I don't think I can keep doing that, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby, what are your thoughts? How's it going over behind the scenes? Do you have any thoughts on the games this weekend?
Well, I had mentioned to several people over the weekend. It's like I mentioned to you guys on Saturday. It's very hard for an NFL team to beat another 3 times in one season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes into play almost, every couple of years. That seems to come into play in the playoffs. And as far as the first game is concerned, I don't know. I'm starting to get a sense that maybe that magic in KC is starting to disappear now. I mean, they're starting to get shut down. They're not making the big show, and maybe there's some infighting, right, on the team itself. So maybe there's something not all glorious in Kansas City.
Yeah, there was some sideline tiffs, weren't there? There was a lot of emotion at one point. Maybe emotion. I'm trying to be nice, but I mean, good that. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't know what it feels like. You guys, being in that moment, it has to eat away at you or rip you apart at some point, especially when you're going down, right? We have Coach Kirk Broussard saying that he loves this show. Well, I'm so glad that he's listening or he's watching. He's away right now, but we do miss him. But he did send me his Super Bowl pick because that's
Of
where we're
course
going
you
to shift
did.
gears. Of course he did. He
Yeah.
was making sure he sent it to me because, So, predictions, Super Bowl. We have the Bengals taking on the Rams. How cool that the Rams get to play at home though. Like that's got to be an incredible feeling for Ram fans. So, we'll start with Coach Kirk Broussard's prediction. He is going with the Bengals for the
Ah,
big win.
okay.
Yeah, he is. I'm going Rams because I think I've been in that direction for the majority of this season. I always saw them going into the Super Bowl. I just didn't know who they would be up against. So yes, I'm going for the Rams. Carlos, what is your prediction? Who's going to be the big winner?
I just think I really just changed my mind as I'm thinking right here. Like I said,
Don't
I
do
don't
it,
think I can.
Carlos. Don't do it.
I don't think I can't keep picking against these Bengals, man. These guys are not supposed to be there. They don't even know what they're
I
doing. You
know.
got the youngsters, they just living in the moment, guys. They crashed the whole Super Bowl after winning what, 4 games last year. I think it's something in the water, coach, and I hate to do it. I think I'm gonna go Bengals, man. I'm gonna say
Oh,
Bengals. 26, maybe like 20, something like that type of game. Joe Burrow has been constantly sacked this whole year, so I'm not worried about the pass rush. For whatever reason, he gets away just enough. I remember when they played the Titans here in Nashville, sacked him every other play, it seemed like, but he always got away when he needed to, made the big throw when he needed to.
mhm.
I'm gonna go Bengals, guys. I don't know. I might regret this, but I'm gonna go Bengals.
Nuts. Now I might have no. I'm sticking Rams. I'm 110% focused on a Ram win. Coach Chris Williams.
Man, I was just about to say I don't know what Coach Broussard is thinking, but since Carlos is going with him, I want to talk about it so bad. But I guess we're gonna get two, and I'm gonna go with the Rams. I mean, I personally think it's all about that pass rush. I mean, I don't think. I mean, you're talking about Aaron Donald. You're talking about Von Miller. I mean, there's gonna be a serious pass rush coming, and I mean, even yesterday you could see with that Cincinnati's offensive line just struggles, man. And I don't know that that's gonna change a whole lot, and I think this is going to be a pass rush like they haven't seen before. So I think I just think the Rams beat them up front and win the Super Bowl.
Okay, Bobby.
Okay,
Which
Bobby's going to
team?
jump.
Yep, Bobby's going to jump in on this.
I'm going to go with the Rams. I just feel this is the Matt Stafford, the Matt Stafford makes it show, right? All those years in Detroit where you watch him on Thanksgiving, he's getting beat in. The team's not that good. I mean, I'm a big fantasy football player. I've had Stafford for several years, so I've watched him pretty closely. And I think he was just made for this moment. And all he needed was that one opportunity, change the scenery, and I think he's gonna be the MVP of the game and pull it out for the Rams.
That sounds like lyrics from like an Eminem song.
Which we'll hear on halftime.
Yeah, he is. I'm looking forward to the halftime show.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty epic. It's going to be pretty good. So 3 Rams, 2 Bengals. Okay. Well, we will be meeting up next Monday, a week from today. So if anybody wants to change things, that will be the moment.
We're solid over here. We're solid over here. I'm going with it.
I'm solid too. I'm going to stick with the Rams. But I'm just saying, if by chance, Coach Kirk Broussard just decides to change his mind, you never know. You never know. Okay. Any last things you guys want to talk about? Any last thoughts about, anything going into Super Bowl weekend? So we have another week and a bit before 1 week. 1 week. 2 weeks, whatever. Anyways, it's February 13th. So 2 weeks from now, going into the big day. Any final thoughts? Anything that you guys want to talk about? Any last words?
I mean, for me, I'm going to talk about that halftime show. I mean, I got to commend the NFL for going there with this particular halftime show. I mean, this is all This is all the stuff I know I grew up with. I mean, you're talking Dr. Dre. There was a time when I was riding around with a box in my trunk, in high school, listening to pumping Dr. Dre, right? So Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg was another one of my guys,
Hmm.
and to be honest with you, between my mother and my wife, Mary J. Blige was always played around my household too. So I'm thinking this is going to be one that I know in my house. That halftime show is going to be something that everybody's trying to watch and that we'll be talking about. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. This is a good one coming up this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I think that this will be one of the ones that goes down in history because we all had that time where you were actually looking forward to the music people that were playing, and then you put it on and you're like, oh, and it was just like such a letdown.
Hmm.
And then of course you have the ones where
Yeah.
they bring it and they have the malfunction of the clothing, which we had all that issue. There's always drama when we have a halftime show.
Hmm.
I don't know, Carlos.
Forward
What do you
to it.
think about this halftime show?
Well, the first thing I think in is I love to be riding shotgun with your coach back in the day when you had that box in the back of that Chevy, man. That's the same thing for me, man. I used to have the
Mhm.
speakers all hooked up, listening
Yeah.
to the Dre. So man, it does take you back. And I
Hmm.
love when they have like the city centric type of thing. You're in LA. This is
Mhm.
California music, man. You got to go back to Dre and Kendrick, so for some of the young generation, man. I
Hmm.
wonder how they gonna pull it off though, yeah. I mean, the show is only what, like 25 to 30 minutes, and we're talking like five great artists, Eminem and Kendrick,
Yeah.
all these guys. So like, what are we gonna get, like a song and a half out of that? I don't know. So I just want to see how this is all gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They have so many epic artists that you want to make sure that they get more than just one song because they are not defined by one song. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play this one out. I think it's gonna be a great show. I mean, plus we have the commercials too now. Guys, are you watching the commercials when you're watching the game?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm a big commercial guy. I don't know about you, Coach, but that's usually some reason that some people just watch the game. Some people don't get into it, but they'll actually sit there and watch the game just to base it off the commercials. But
Mhm.
the Super Bowl is so big, man. You got people coming you just throw a party, and you got some people that come over to eat.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, because Super Bowl is more than just the game.
Yeah.
There's the food. There's the chicken wings. The day of the year where the most amount of chicken wings are being eaten, plus the amount of beer that
Yeah.
people are drinking. Now, I want to ask you guys, and Bobby, I would want you to answer this one as well. What type of football watcher are you? What's your personality when it comes to watching the games? I, for one, I'm quiet. I wasn't quiet yesterday. I was actually pretty loud, but I'm an observer. I watch everything and you know, enjoying the moment. Carlos, what kind of fan are you?
Man, it depends. If it's a Cowboys game, that's my squad, man. It gets pretty emotional. I'm pretty latched on to every
Mhm.
incompletion. I don't like what's going on the coach's face. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at
Hmm.
my friends. Don't talk to me right now. But if I get to sit back and really relax and just enjoy a game, my team's not playing. I try to be that guy to be informative, but don't say too much because you always got that know-it-all guy that wants to act like he knows everything over there. So you gotta let those type of guys have it. But I try to stay in the cut and play my plays most times.
Yeah, the play-by-play guy. Coach Chris Williams, what kind of football watcher fan are you?
Super Bowl wise, it's always just looking for a good time, right? That gives us a chance to socialize, whether we might be throwing the party or we just attending the party. Super Bowl is just fun. I don't get to see. I got two teams between the Saints and the Packers, and you don't get to see your team in the big game as much. So I look forward to Super Bowl because it gives us some social time, and you're gonna kick back a few beers and have some good social interaction with some people. So I like to just go as Super Bowl as a fan. And unless I'm watching the Saints, Alabama, or the Packers, I'm pretty much just a laid back kind of guy. But I'm on the edge of my seat for those three teams for sure.
Yeah, I get too emotionally invested, I think. Like, my heart will start racing. I get a little angry, but I make it look like I'm calm on the outside. Bobby, what kind of football fan are you when you're watching the Super Bowl?
Like I mentioned, I'm a big fantasy football guy, so I spend most of the year watching Red Zone. So it's actually pretty cool in the playoffs to actually sit back and watch like one game at a time, and not have to worry about rooting for players and just enjoy the game itself and kind of pick it apart from a analysis point of view and get ready for being on the air and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There should be a holiday on the Monday.
Yeah.
For everybody.
They're working towards that. That's the game plan.
I hope so.
Maybe
It's
one more week.
hard, especially when you have to get up early in the morning. Like my early is like stupid early, so you got to pace yourself after a certain time. Well, gentlemen, I think that is it for the Play Callers Pod. Thank you so much for joining me. So we have Coach Kirk Broussard's going Bengals, Carlos is Bengals, myself, Chris, and Bobby are going with the Rams.
That's right.
Lock it in.
Okay.
That's
We're
it.
locked in. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. If you're watching this on repeat and you have questions, or if you have any comments, just post away and the guys will get back to you as soon as possible. We'll see you at the same time, same place in 1 week. Bye. Have a great week.
That'll work. See you, Los.